Recording started. So then, want to do the Melv one first?
Sure.
Okay. So, after we got back on ship, I think Hannah would have spent a little bit of time more just like around the general piloting area / around Melv. Because at the moment it was like, I am feeling very unsafe right now. This is a good place to be. And so eventually he'd proper talk to him, but for the first little while he was probably pretty quiet.
Okay. So how do you start this conversation as Melv is going over various reports and whatnot?
Is Melvin in his office or where is he located?
Probably his office at this moment.
Okay, I will move Hannah. He'd rap on the door and
Door's open.
good to know. So he'll open it, close it behind him. Hello, Melv.
Hello, Hannah. Feeling a bit better.
No.
You're looking at least.
Honestly, he probably doesn't look much better. He's not hasn't been sleeping at all.
Melv knows. He can
Oh.
tell, but he's trying to, boost that confidence.
That's true, that's true. He just does a very humorless look. And he says, may I put up a seat?
You're still with him.
Fantastic. Picks the left one.
Melv sets down his tablet pen and looks to you there, Hannah, with a questioning look of wondering what you're going to say.
How are you feeling these days?
As well as one can be in this sort of situation.
I imagine you are not much a fan of the predicament we find ourselves in either, then.
I certainly am not.
It's not good. It's very bad, in fact, I would say.
Very bad if someone breaks current protocol, yes. But at the moment, it's just not good, I'd say.
I would have to disagree with you there. Even if they're not breaking current protocol, they are speaking with the machines.
As far as I'm aware, only the AI is capable of being talked to at the moment.
The AI's in connection with the VI, is she not?
No, we got them separated right now.
Good.
Not until we can figure out how to prevent the dropship from connecting to other systems. Right now we have it manually locked down, but I'm pretty sure between you and me, Hannah, if that AI wanted to extend its control, it could. Might be difficult, and we'll catch it, but if it wanted to, it could. I don't want to take any chances with those VIs right now, because who knows what they can do.
He nods in agreement. You don't have to convince me of the matter. I was against it from the start. Even just bringing them onto the ship.
Well, a problem when your crew is also your family. It's difficult to say no when all of them have set their minds to something.
That was the thing, though. Well, we didn't all set our minds to it. We were dealing with a loud minority.
Hmm. Well, decision's been made now, I guess.
It has. Shakes his head. Ups- irritated by it. You can't let her step on you like that.
Which her in particular?
The one behind this particular instance, not the other.
Rye, well, I figured from how Rye was presenting it, it was a agreement you all made in the moment, with only you being against it.
No. Others didn't speak up, but they didn't agree either. I was listening back through the logs, and while I wasn't exactly present at the moment, as you can imagine, I didn't catch that she was presenting all of us had agreed on this.
Well, I suppose the silver lining is that it made it so the ship stopped attacking us.
Yes. It is good. And by the end of it, there was really no other choice. We'd backed ourselves into a corner. The only choice we had was to agree to Minerva's terms or face destruction.
I heard there's a 10-foot tall psychopath that's now going to be keeping tabs on us.
And wandering the universe as he so pleases. Always in connection with Minerva. And
That's
capable of
the,
regenerating. He's an Imperial Lancer.
well, I guess those stories about them being unkillable are true.
They are.
Fuck. He kind of leans back in his seat.
He just shakes his head.
We can't tell a word to the company about that particular.
I don't think we can tell a word to the company about any of this.
Well, the AIs, the VIs, the Imperial Lancer. Let's not mention any of that.
I think that would
I'm
be
sure
wise.
Sure, the company would appreciate the fact that we salvaged a autonomous battleship. I'll just have to tell them that it was dead in the water when we found it.
All systems disabled. A husk of what it was. After all, it was over 600 years old. You can't expect such a thing. None of us did.
The things we looted up say otherwise, but
Which ones?
well, as a moment, it's most of the systems are intact.
Well, yes, the systems are intact, but data corruption, especially of the AI, isn't untrue. I'm sure within some of the logs there will be fair evidence, should they read through them, of a corrupted AI.
Well, the good thing here is that all of the other logs on board the vessel so far that we've uncovered, completely wiped.
Perfect. There we go.
Don't even think if you had direct access to the ship's mainframe, you wouldn't even find a trace that there's anything there. It looked like a right off a line. Scary shit those things can do.
Though I would almost dare say, while I am not comforted by it, there is a comfort to it. It shows that Minerva's just as keen on being hidden as we are.
I don't like it, Vet. they have a dropship inside of our hangar, but at least you were able to convince it to not have any weapons.
That's just a reassurance for the others. That dropship at a fast enough speed could do horrendous damage within the hangar and to the ship, weapons or not.
Hmm. That I know all too well.
It happened before.
Stories on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And being in the Force, well, if an infiltrator got on board one of the vessels, the best way to take out the vessel is to open up the hangar and start smashing around a fighter, bomber, dropship while it's traveling through shock space. Good chance that it'll rip half the ship apart. And then force the other half out into real space, and who knows where you'll end up. Good way to get lost.
Good way to perish.
Never happened to me, but you hear enough stories about it happening. Must have happened to someone.
He nods. Kind of expression of the usual Hannah, I detest war face. Remind me how long you served again. I know you've mentioned it before, but it's been a week.
About 2 decades of real years.
And plenty of cryo.
Plenty of cryo, yeah. Hash, a little bit less than me. Trent, same amount as Hash.
Right.
They spent most of their time in more time in cryo than I did.
Well, you were closer to front, were you not?
Well, Hash was the ground pounder, but being in the force, and with the militarized shock drives, you didn't need to go to Cairo at the time with those. Just throw down the shutters over the windows, or be on ships that don't have any windows, and turn off any displays that show outside, and go through shock. The military engines prevent all the wonkiness from occurring.
Well, money will do
Kept
that.
real space, yeah. So I didn't go into Cairo nearly as often.
He nods. Saves you time. After all, the body generally can only handle up to around 100 years of cryo before it can't take much more. Might as well save those years if you can do so.
Well, that's what we got medicine for.
Medicine for cryo.
Yeah. It's expensive stuff, but, got enough credits. You can get rid of the elements caused by Cairo sickness, even the permanent stuff. But, yeah, I'm sure that's not what you want to talk to me about right now.
No, but the distraction is welcomed. You already know my qualms. I'm sure they're much the same as your own. But other than that, this is all too familiar, Melv.
I didn't realize you've salvaged Imperial ships before that have active AIs.
No.
And that's a story I like to hear. Oh, then what's all familiar about this then?
handling this closely with the... It's the Imperium, right?
Yeah.
With the Imperium.
Does Melv know like that
He knows
you work with
everything.
the okay,
Yeah,
so he's
Hannah has told Melv everything.
okay,
Melv is
okay.
the only
Just
person that
wanted
he's
to check.
told.
You're lucky the security systems in this ship are shit.
I'm well aware they are, otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you here.
Well, you can. The resurgence is nothing like. I guess these are actual true bloods here. Celestine fancies herself one, but I'm sure the resurgence also fancy themselves that, but different leagues compared to these actual soldiers of that time.
That's my point. What I'm familiar with is but a copy of this. If the copy's that bad, what does that say of the original?
Well, I don't think the resurgence would have been willing to barter with us if they were in control of the battleship.
No. But what if it knew, if that information got out, everyone on this crew's in danger. Everyone. Just for...
Well, you think whatever happened here and on that observation post are still connected to something else, and that the resurgence a part of it?
I believe that the Resurgence has a great interest in ancient Terran tech and history.
And it's quite likely that whoever buys all this equipment from us is going to be connected to a resurgence.
He winces very slightly at that.
I I know you don't like to hear that, but it's the cold hard truth right there. Few groups are going to pay a premium for this sort of thing. Most groups would try to haggle down the company, since the company will be doing all the bartering.
Not that it matters, should get into their hands regardless of who we sold it to. May as well get the most markup out of it. Will be the poor souls it's used against.
Well, another silver lining is our homicidal AI, from what Hash could find, took out all the armories on board that ship.
Good.
Amanda near had a breakdown, but well, it's stuff that was already pilfered from who knows what. That's acceptable, but just, well, the disabled simps were just standing in the wreckage of just armor, weaponry, ammunitions, just all over the place. Even had to put out a couple fires here and there. So, silver lining on top. This Minerva wanted to make sure that its secrets remain its, and its weaponry remains its too. I just, I'm glad it wasted all of its expendable munitions on that carcass in front of us. I shudder to think if we actually recovered some atomics. Sure, it'd be a payday, but kind of shakes his head.
We'd have to sit with the weight of that choice.
And God forbid if we hear about something getting done. It'd be pretty bad.
Tell yourself you're not responsible for it, but...
Well, you know the truth. I know the truth.
Fuck. Puts his head in hand.
So I'm glad we don't need to make that tough decision.
Yes, let's just sell the wreckage of this ship and be done with this.
Well, I know Hash still wants to check out whatever that signal is down on the surface. I'm not too keen on checking it out after we saw those logs of some sort of test happening down there. Probably a, Terran bioweapon. But
We won't know unless we check.
yeah, so everyone who goes down really is cogged up. Normally, just when we're exploring planets, you know how it is.
Of course.
But we'll take our shuttle down, check it out, get back pretty quick. From what we're able to tell, it's pretty dead down there. Next to no serviceable power. Most of the cities are starting to collapse in on themselves. That sort of thing. I don't reckon it'll be much trouble. Like, at most, you might have to deal with autonomous war units, but...
Not that we haven't dealt with that already.
Well, it's the added bonus of rather than the vacuum of space, which, well, won't really deteriorate things too quickly. The planet's surface, gravity,
The
weather,
atmosphere.
the atmosphere itself, oxidization, well... If anything's still working down there, it's rusted junk. Even if it's still formidable, still rusted junk.
Which is all the more better for us.
Yeah.
What comes afterward? Once we're done with all this.
Well, we head back to Mouse and talk for company, unload our cargo into the warehouses, and get paid.
Well, yes, thank you. After.
Well, I reckon after that, leave it a month and a half of travel to get to Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Ram's contract's nearing termination. Gonna need to see if Two's gonna want to continue his contract with us.
That will be questionable given his current.
Situation, yeah.
We may be down
But
to security.
but regardless, thinking of giving you all a nice bonus at behest of a company, of course,
Of
and
course.
let you all enjoy some time in the pleasure domes at the Mouse. Or if you really want, should be a few day travel to a nearby system. Should have some a sizable enough population to let everyone relax for a bit. Get our feet down on some proper ground.
A feel of real gravity would be nice.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like it.
Yes.
Artificial's nice and all, but
There's a difference. There really is.
even if they say there isn't, something about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think some good old R&R would do most of a crew pretty well.
Nowhere to. I'll put in my request for nowhere too populated, please.
I know how it is with you.
Mm-hmm. Those groups are exhausting.
Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna get dragged out to Mouse regardless by Rai to go and attend a victory celebration.
Well, we assume it will only be me.
Oh,
Or she'll
the
drag
entire
everyone.
crew. Oh, we'll have to keep someone on board the ship. Probably going to be 6.
We'll see.
Well, can't leave it unattended anymore.
Of course. I may be able to wiggle out of the celebration.
I doubt it.
We'll see. She's not capable of picking a locked door, is she?
You'd be surprised what she can convince others to do.
He knows that Mel's right, curses.
Melv just smiles lightly.
Sometimes I wonder if it was a mistake bringing her on board.
The cat fights do get a bit annoying, but she's good at her job.
Yes, she is. And when she's not being petty, she can be a good worker. Almost
Petty.
decent to be around, perhaps.
I'll make sure I don't let her know you said that. She's at least decent to be around sometimes.
Yes, please. If she
I
ever
wouldn't want
knows,
to
I don't.
ruin your relationship with her.
Her obsession with my teeth is strange.
Healthy.
Strange. Did you say
Dental
healthy?
hygiene. He did. Dental hygiene is the most crucial part of hygiene. That
I'm
determines the
aware.
rest of your bodily functions.
He rolls his eyes. I'm aware of that, Melv. I
I
brush my
know.
teeth. We know.
I know. I know you take care. Regardless, it doesn't look like you take care.
Right, but if she would listen, she'd be aware that I do. It's just the fucking tobacco.
Maybe we should get you one of those vapors.
Maybe. I don't know if it'd be the same. It's the vapors still have a small, minuscule amount of second hand, don't they? That's the entire point of the chew, is so that you all don't have to smell it.
I can get you gum.
It's not the same.
Yeah, you'd know best. You're the resident tobacco chewer.
Yes. There's no way I am going to be going through withdrawal while I'm in the middle of space. It's not happening.
It would be pretty funny, but I cannot
Funny.
condone that. Oh, yes.
You always care so much for me, Melv.
Well, I just said I wouldn't condone you going
Yeah.
through withdrawals.
But walk back all you need to assure your innocence.
He just does a shrug.
Gives a tired smile.
Haven't been sleeping well.
You know, I had trouble sleeping before this.
Is it I don't know, nightmares or just past reflection or just stress?
All the above. Past coming back as nightmares because I'm stressed.
Yeah.
It'll pass. I just need to get away from this.
You feeling claustrophobic at all?
Is he?
Um, sometimes you get that trapped feeling.
A little, time to time.
We're definitely going to go planet side when we get our pay.
Very well.
Not just for you. I'm sure others in the crew are starting to feel it.
How have you been feeling?
Ugh. Like I said, as well as I could be in this sort of situation. Glad everyone's relatively okay.
I mean, mentally, how are you holding up? Are you having any effects?
At the moment, just stress for me.
Good. You've always
Nah.
been some of the strongest mentally among all of us.
Well, someone needs to be your fearless leader.
It's always appreciated. A side note, if I may.
You may.
Alright. We should invest in some more fire suppression systems. I noticed there weren't a lot on board, aside from the few we have.
There's a lot of things that Ferocity needs to get invested in.
Well, yes, it's a pile of shit.
Well, it's a pile of shit that's normally running the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But no, more an automated system for fire suppressants certainly on the docket. The big docket is to get her a proper overhaul.
Altogether.
Well, ship's been needing it for the past 4 decades. It's fallen apart.
But we're doing what we can, but it's not enough, I agree. Flynn is constantly on a titsy about it.
The lack of fire suppressants or the fact that Ross has fallen apart.
Both.
Well, so long as the crew quarters are kept in good repair, so long as the engines are running, that's all we can hope for. But after this pay, I'd reckon we should be able to get her situated. Just we're going to need to find a way to get our guests situated as well.
Since it would take time.
Well, it'd be time, and we won't be able to live on the Rossi while it's getting overhauled. And there'd be plenty of random people on it.
Mm-hmm. The corporation you said is called Mouse?
That's the station.
The station, okay.
Yeah, well, the station that y'all are mostly situated out of, it's Mouse Station.
Oh, okay. Would it be possible to find temporary housing near Mouse?
Certainly, it would be the case of, well, while this ship's getting overhauled, we'd stayed likely in one of the suites provided by the corporation.
So then there's that problem solved. Don't need to put much thought into it when we already have the resources on hand.
The problem is we have an AI core inside an Imperial dropship, and we have multiple server banks hanging out inside one of the engineering bays.
Right.
And we can't just disconnect said servers, because if we did that, they'll power off, and that will presumably kill them.
So we need to find a way to
And if
keep
we
them
kill
active. Then we get the wrath of whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And their wrath happens to incorporate a 10-foot tall super soldier.
Well, here's a thought. if we need to have the ship rehauled, there are certain areas that are needing it more than others. We could have them prioritize that and save the least damaged part for later. And simply swap the cores over there.
Well, that would mean that we need to babysit people, and then imagine if you looked over Trent or Mindy's shoulder all day, because you're constantly telling them you can't go on that part of a ship. They're eventually going to go on that part of a ship.
Well, if they don't
You
have
know
a
that.
reason to be in there, and we have find a way to hide away the core,
Curiosity,
possibly.
killed the oh,
You cut out. I'm sorry.
curiosity killed the explorer.
It would.
And then eventually, someone will get curious.
I'm
That's
aware
why
of
I'd
this.
rather it be done in such a way where the cores are and the servers are not even on the Rossi when we get overhaul.
How would we transport them inconspicuously?
Well,
You
that's
realize
what I
bringing
need
them
to
into a
figure out.
populated area is so much more dangerous than just trying to hide them from people rehauling a ship.
That's the situation that we find ourselves in. I had some ideas, but well, he shrugs.
Well,
We'll cross that bridge once we get there.
we should probably make plans to how we're going to do it before we get there.
Well, you need not worry about those plans, Hannah. It's more the on my end.
Well, if you need assistance,
Keep it in mind.
he nods. But we'll make it work. You're right. We'll do what we can. This rehaul, are you spending your entire paycheck on this then?
Well, it depends on how much we're going to make from the job itself. Um, Amanda's been trying to crunch the numbers, so
Well, that's why
everyone
every
should get
single thing dropped is breaking her heart. She always gets like this on hauls.
even if this wasn't an important haul, she'd be still penny pinching.
Always has been. I surely hope you're saving some for yourself, though.
Well, it's a delicate balance of making sure everyone gets their bonus and then putting money aside for Verossi and to cover up the costs.
Well, yes, but I reiterate, you need to make sure you're getting something as well.
Verossi getting upgraded is being getting something.
Yes, but you really should be saving for after the Rossi.
He just gives a knowing smile to you.
He holds his ground.
Verossi is my retirement plan.
Of course it is. I'll check back on that in about 20 years and see if that's still the plan.
We'll find out then.
Very well. Well, I should suppose I should stop distracting you from your... He motioned at his data pad. Whack.
Well, sometimes distractions are welcomed.
Hmm.
If you need to talk, do come by again, Hannah.
As long as you don't lock the door on me. He gets up.
Well, I'll only need to lock the door on you if you're causing trouble.
I never cause trouble.
And you never lie.
I know.
I'm glad that we have come to this understanding.
Yes. By the way, He looks over his shoulder. The smoke alarm, smoke detector in the south wing isn't working. Just so you're aware.
I'm aware.
Good. He'll go to the door and go to head up.
Okay.
Andrea, you take what you heard this day to your death. You understand?
I'm half listening. I'm working still.
Oh, good. Well, I hope you miss details then.
Also, I don't meta, or I don't try to, you know that.
I know. Alright. Places RP gently into bin of finished.